Your resume is what you did. Your brand is who you are. And most people have spent their entire career confusing the two. And today, I want to show you exactly what the confusion costs and what changes when you finally get it right. This is the L in the O.N.L.Y framework. Lead with your story, not your resume, not your credentials, but the story underneath the credentials, the one that explains why you do what you do in a way that only you can explain it. And before I tell you Lisa's story, I want to ask you something. What is the story you have been leaving out of your professional narrative? What is the story you have been leaving out of your professional narrative? The thing that happened that didn't make it onto LinkedIn. The chapter you treated as too personal, too specific, too much. That story, that is almost always exactly where your brand lives. A woman named Lisa came to me. She said, I help people who have been exposed to asbestos. She was professional, clear, serviceable, and completely invisible in a world where dozens of people could say the exact same thing. So I said, tell me why. Her husband had died from asbestos exposure. She spent years fighting the company that killed him, and she won. She spoke in front of Congress. She changed laws. She fought corporate, legal, institutional Goliaths, and she didn't back down once. And when she was done fighting for herself, she turned around and started helping everyone else who was standing where she once stood. She had never put that story in her professional positioning. Why? It was too personal, too raw, not relevant to the service she was offering. I help people exposed to asbestos was the safe version, the dollar bill. Clean, clear, and completely forgettable. So here's what I said to her. Lisa, you are not the best asbestos advocate. You're the only person who provides a blueprint for fighting injustice against corporate Goliaths. Anyone who has been wronged, anyone with a cause, anyone who does not know what to do when they or someone they love has been hurt by a system that was supposed to protect them. That person does not need the best advocate. They need Lisa, because Lisa's been that person. She did not study this. She lived it. Something happened on her face when I said that. Not, wow, I'm impressive. More like, oh, that is what I've been doing. And it has a name. Relief quiet. That's the feeling. I know I felt it when somebody repeated back what I did. Oh. Relief quiet. Your resume is what you did. But your brand is who you are, and who you are lives in the story underneath the credentials, the path that brought you here, the thing that happened that did not make it onto LinkedIn. The reason you care about this work in a way that most people in your field do not. And here's what I know from almost 100 O.N.L.Y statement audits, one-on-one with people like you. People do not buy what you do. They buy who they get to become by being around you. People do not buy what you do. They buy who they get to become by being around you. When Lisa helps, when Lisa leads with I help asbestos victims, potential client evaluates her services. And when Lisa leads with I fought the Goliath and won, and now I help everyone else who's standing where I stood, a potential client feels something different. Lisa gets it. She's been there. And that is the difference between a credential and a story. Credentials create evaluation. Stories create connection. Credentials create evaluation. Stories create connection. And connection is what converts. P.T. Barnum did not promote General Tom Thumb by listing his measurements. He told the story of a man who performed for Queen Victoria, who made presidents laugh, who became one of the most famous people in the world, despite everything the world said was a limitation. The story was the brand. Walt Disney did not build an empire on animated drawings. He built it on the feeling underneath the story, the specific human truth that made millions of people stop everything and watch. Well, your story works exactly the same way, not as a decoration, as the core. The question the L asks is this: not what you do, but what happened to you, or because of you, that makes you the only person in the room who sees this problem the way you see it. The story is there. It's almost always the thing you've been treating as too personal, too specific, too much. The chapter you left off the resume because it did not seem relevant. The experience that shaped everything, but never made it into your bio. Lisa fought Goliaths. Then she hid the story for years, and you have a version of this, the chapter you've been leaving out, the thing that explains why you do what you do in a way that nobody else in your field can say. That is your L. That is your story, and it's already there. Your story is not something you include. It's the core differentiator in a world full of sameness. Not the polished version, the real one. The one that only you can tell because only you lived it. Do you want to know how to find it? Here's how. Step 1, go to findyouronly.app. That's findyouronly.app. 8 questions, under 8 minutes. It's free. You're going to get a first draft of your only statement. Findyouronly.app. And if you want to work further, step 2, book your only statement audit at findyouronly.app/audit. Why am I saying slash? I don't know. But go to findyouronly.app, /audit. You'll get the link after you complete the 8 questions in under 8 minutes at findyouronly.app. And then the audit, it's 60 minutes one-on-one with me, where I'm going to find the pattern you've been living but never consciously named. And about 48 hours after, you're going to get a 15 to 17 page or more positioning document with your refined only statement, 5 variations, elevator pitch, platform headlines, and so much more. Go to findyouronly.app now. That's free. 8 questions in under 8 minutes. It's going to help you on your journey. I'm telling you, lead with your story. When you do, everything else follows. Be the only. Be the $2 bill.